Would you help a stranger in need, and how does this relate to social experiments? Now, this is something called the bystander effect. And this is where it's a psychological theory where the probability is that when we feel there are more people who are likely to help or seen as not helping in a situation, we're actually less inclined to help that stranger in that given situation ourselves. And this is something that's been proven by research. And what they've done in terms of an observational method with this is normally they will put a certain amount of people into a room. They will either generate a faux social experiment, which is like you've seen on this happen, like you'll see on countless others. But you'll also see cases of where they do this in more of a closed setting where they invite various different participants, some of which who either have a fabricated role where they know not to react to a particular thing, or where it's individuals who are part of the research team going in and they are just being effectively asked to go in and completely ignore whatever the situation is and therefore see how the other individuals who are participating react. And one of the arguments here is this is when most people tend to comment on social experiments. Why didn't anyone intervene? No one stands up. And this is basically because one, it's a fear from a group side of it, because you see most of the group not getting engaged. There's a preconception that you are potentially going against groupthink by getting involved in that particular situation. Now, people do. There are many of the different social experiments where people do eventually get involved and where it goes against something deeply personal for them to motivate them. That's where the person is motivated over that fear response, and it is a fear response to bystander effect, where people are socially scared of doing the wrong thing and therefore demotivated, therefore they don't engage with whatever the experiment is. Now, the other argument with the bystander effect is now one of the other points with the bystander effect is not just not acting, but it's our level of motivation to help in those particular situations. Now, yes, there will be some people who act more than others, and that is something that will be noted in numerous different experimental designs. But the other point to highlight here is it's not just acting, it's sometimes we are motivated to act in different situations, and that will give us that level of motivation to get involved. For example, parents more likely to intervene with a lost child, people in a situation where there's a group of them, because it's within their own group, they are more likely to act in a different situation with strangers or so on. There's different cases of where the bystander effect will have a lesser impact. But what I want to know is what your experience of the bystander effect has been, and have you got any personal experience with it? If you're happy to share it, please drop a comment. I'd love to hear it. Thank you very much for listening, and thanks for joining into some of these spooky or scary science stories.